hello there, everyone, and welcome back to the Remote Control Podcast, a show where a couple nerds talk all things movies, music, comics, video games, and, some other stuff. I'm Robert Slavinsky, and with me, as always, is the fabulous Colton Bird.
Brap!
What the hell was that?
We were started really quietly.
Anyways, let's get serious here. So, what's going on, everyone? Yeah, we got some stuff to talk about.
We just got done fucking bitches getting money.
Yeah, stuff like that. Okay, so yeah, today we're going to talk about...
You're all 50 Shades of fucked up today right now.
I really am. Stuff. There's some Star Wars
How was
news,
your week?
stuff,
How was your week?
Honestly, it wasn't too bad. Busy at work. I was working 10 plus hour days this week, so that kind of sucked, but not too bad. My daughter's birthday party was yesterday, so that was fun.
That's good. How was it?
It was good. 4 years old already.
Wow, crazy. Before you know it, she'll be 44.
I'll be dead.
No, you won't. You'd be 60.
I don't really expect to make it past 45.
Your 45th birthday, the day after, we're going to just go party every day. Because at that point, every day is going to be a celebration.
Pretty much. It's pretty much how it's going to be. But yeah, what else? I mean, there's some things going on. I watched a lot of TV this week. I finished Ash vs. Evil Dead. There's only 2 seasons on Netflix, so
nice.
I watched those. No, well, there's only 2 seasons. 3rd season comes out February, I think.
That's not too far
March.
Away. If you're listening to it on the day that we release it.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, there's some crazy things. Honestly, this week has been quite a whirlwind for the podcast. Let's see, we got approved on Spotify, so our listening numbers have jumped up drastically. So
yeah, we went from 2 to 4. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, but honestly, it's kind of cool that we're on Spotify now. So along with all the other outlets that you can find us, you can now find us on Spotify.
Hey, shout out to Nicole Ward for the pretty cool Star Wars poster.
Yes, yeah, that was pretty cool. That's actually a really badass poster. As soon as we get it framed, we're going to take a picture of it and throw it in the group. We're working on our little recording area and gonna make it all.
It's 2018, the year we finally put this together.
There's a lot that's going on. We're planning some things for upcoming shows and what we're gonna do in the future as well.
Yeah, we're gonna watch Colton fall flat on his face here the next couple of weeks.
It's been kind of nice because as we're gaining more listeners, one thing that we want to do is just keep bringing out good not just content. It may not be good, but
no, quality. Hey, watch out for Bob's birthday bash.
Oh boy, yeah, that's gonna be fun too.
17 people with 3 microphones. Let the orgy begin.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work if it's even gonna happen.
No,
but
we'll make it happen.
That's coming up. But let's see, we got Jonathan Phelan. He's been on our show a few times. You call him our
resident
DC
specialist expert guy.
But he and I are going to be sitting down later this week talking all things the CW Arrowverse, getting prepared for the second half of the season or whatever. So we're going to be doing that this week.
What if you guys stand up?
We could stand up.
Tits.
I've actually heard that it's when you do podcasts or radio, it's actually better to stand.
Well, we're fucking failing.
Yeah, we fail at life all the time. But
maybe that's why we were laying down the first couple months.
And as we started to sit up more,
now we're reaching the stars.
I don't know, but honestly, we have that going on. Jonathan and I will be doing that. Since our big music Spotify one was a huge hit, which is no surprise now that we're on Spotify. So
yeah, full circle.
But our Spotify episode was pretty big hit. We're gonna do another music episode, not a musical. Yeah, we should do a musical one time.
Oh my God, can we?
Where the whole episode we just sing.
Sorry, but can we?
But no, we're going to be doing another music-oriented show. Right now, the idea I think we're going to do is we're going to take songs that people get song lyrics wrong to. But what I want to do is I want us send in your ideas. If you have ideas, send them to us. Let us know what some of the songs that you want to hear us talk about. But the big thing is I want what's your name? Colton. There you go. That's your name.
No, it's
Carlton?
Yeah, there we go. Carlton, thank you.
I want Colton and I
Did you just assume my gender?
to pick out songs that we've always gotten wrong, so we make ourselves look like idiots.
Oh,
you know,
well, I could just do that by myself. We don't have to find songs.
So, but we're gonna do something like that. It should be fun. But yeah, we want to keep doing music oriented.
We should
shows.
drop our mixtape now.
Yeah.
Deej, we're following in your footsteps.
Yeah, thanks, Deej. Big shout out to Deej Hollow, Nerdocalypse.
Not Christmas oriented though.
No, yeah, his is Christmas oriented. That album is
it's a thing of beauty.
It is. It's amazing.
Can we cover his cover album?
We should.
Can we call it like Under the Covers Part 2?
Under the Covers Part 2. So what happened with your week here? Because we talked about me.
Went to a comic book store, bought some comics.
What did you buy?
Star Wars Jedi Quest. I bought a Darth Vader series, but I don't think it's the one that's coming out right now. And Dark Times, but I didn't get all of Dark Times. And then I can't remember his name, but I got a comic signed by him. He's a local comic artist and seller of art, I guess technically. Artist?
Yeah, artist.
There we go.
Yeah.
He's like a New York Times bestseller and stuff. He was there signing comics, so I got
that's
his
pretty
signature.
cool.
Yeah, bullshit with him.
I actually have a buddy. He and his brother, buddies, because it was buddies with both of them. Him and his brother. They actually made a comic not that long ago. Maybe about 4 years ago. And I always wanted to get it because they were like, "Hey, it's only like $5 or $10. Get it." And I was like, at the time, I didn't even have $5 at the time to get it because I was really behind on some things, and I wanted to so bad. I should see if I can get it from him. His name is Tim Williams.
It was Tim Williams. No, it's Tim William.
But he's an amazing artist. He really is. I've known him since high school, and he was that kid in high school that sat in the art room.
Yeah, that you knew were gonna go places.
Exactly. Not only was he an amazing artist, but he's a musician as well and badass guitar player.
I mean, I don't want to take his fame, but I'm a badass air guitar player.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at Rock Band.
That's not air guitar though.
Well, it's guitar. Whatever. We need to get Rock Band.
Yeah, but if it wasn't $400,
yeah, right.
That's ridiculous.
I gotta go to GameStop one time. Go into Game Vault one time.
Yeah, they might have it.
You got Rock Band? The drums and guitar, please.
That's all we need. Just drums and a guitar.
Yeah, we can use one of our mics.
I don't think it'll be. Oh, I mean, we'd put it. Yeah, I guess so.
Just get an adapter. When there's a will, there's a way.
There is a way.
That's solid 2 seconds of silence.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot going on. What else did you do? That's right. We were talking about you, not me. Damn it, man. You always confuse me.
Hung out with the babes. Ate some food. What movie did we watch? We watched a Zach Galifianakis movie, but I don't remember what it was called. Saw Star Wars for the 5th time last night too. That wasn't on accident one though, because our local movie theater that's like I think it's closest to us, both of us, Uniontown.
Yeah.
Girl was like, yeah, okay, so we go to see Jumanji, buy the tickets. Well, I use my movie pass and I buy her ticket, and she's like, yeah, it'll be theater 3. So we're like, okay, cool. We go to theater 3. We're sitting there. Lucasfilms pops up, and I'm like, I didn't think they did Jumanji, but okay, we'll ride this. And Star Wars Episode 8 starts playing. I'm like, yeah, no, this isn't Jumanji. She was okay, like my girlfriend. She was okay with it, but she really wanted to see Jumanji.
Well, the fact that your girlfriend's just a plastic doll, yeah.
Okay. So, a plastic doll that I take pictures that make me look like a Chinese Jew.
You really did look like a Chinese Jew in that picture.
Okay. Anybody that's friends with me on Facebook, go look at my profile picture and comment underneath if I look like a Chinese Jew.
Yeah, honestly though, I mean, I think that you were like, yeah, the person said theater 3, honey. Yeah. And then you walk in and you're like, she doesn't know it's actually Star Wars.
My thing was I wasn't paying attention when they were talking, so it was all her.
So it was her.
Yeah. I wasn't paying attention. I was like, oh, popcorn. I can go for some popcorn. And we walked in.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Yeah, that's basically what it was.
Piece of candy.
Because I swear to God, last night was like, middle school night, and there was a whole bunch of little kids there, and I was like, But then we walked in, and no one was in the theater. I was like, why is there no one here to see Jumanji? Like, it just came out.
Yeah. Well, it didn't just come out. It's been a few weeks.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, middle school kids would go see Jumanji. Because they're like, oh, I'm edgy. That's a movie from the 90s. But I don't understand what's so funny about that.
Because that's the way they talk, I guess.
No.
No.
But like then it started going. She was kind of upset about it because I've been slowly introducing her to Star Wars.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of explaining I had to do after.
Why didn't you guys just get up and go into the right theater?
Because at that point in time, I was like, "It's Star Wars. We're watching this."
What a dick.
Well, she likes Star Wars too. Like
you're like, well, you're clearly upset, but fuck you. We're watching this.
No, it wasn't like that. She watched it. She enjoyed it actually. For like the face value. Like she didn't understand too much of anything. Like the porgs were awesome. Porgs. Too pure for this world.
Too pure.
That she loves BB-8, and every time like he had a thing, I was like, he's too pure for this world.
Yeah, now before we go any further with anything, again, I just like to welcome all the new listeners that we have. So thank you for tuning in.
Welcome to the Gucci gang.
Thanks for listening in. Thanks for following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, whatever it is. Spotify now. Hey. Yeah, thanks for checking us out. Hopefully you stay with us. I know the episodes are kind of rough from time to time. You know, we do have a little setup here. You know, a little... we have notes. We just like to go off them from time to time.
We have notes that go off on tangents.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. So if you're a new listener, that's kind of what we do. It's kind of fun. It's a little different. Like I didn't want to go with how every other podcast is. Like that's the thing. Like you always want to do something that's different, and maybe it works and maybe it doesn't.
Yeah, Bob's all serious, and I break a dick joke or two.
Jokes.
That's how we work.
But you know, again, it's just. Thank you for tuning in. You know, again, if you haven't followed us, you know, you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. You can also check out our website, where from time to time we will write articles talking about something relating to entertainment. And you can find all of the links to all of that down below in the description, or up above, or to the right, or to the left, wherever our description is, wherever you're looking or watching.
Swipe to the right.
Why?
Because it isn't. I don't remember how to work Tinder.
Yeah, I don't know. People talked me into downloading it one time, and I was looking at it, and I accidentally swiped right on somebody, and I was like, what did I just do? And they're like, they're going to message you, and they ended up not, thank God. What does that say about me, though? Damn, I just thought about that.
Bob. Okay, TRC, Bob's love life.
That's not today. That's for another day, man.
That's for your birthday bash.
It's another day. Another day. Now, before we get into all the news stories and stuff like that, we finally picked a winner for the Leia
on a
speeder thing. So, who's it gonna be? Okay, you got to talk because this is your thing.
I know, but can't we jam? So there were 30 people that were entered. I mean, there were a little bit more, but they were like porn things on Twitter, so I didn't put them in there.
Yeah.
And so, God damn it, I love this song. I can't talk. Gary Freeland, you're in the group. Freeland added you not too long ago. Somewhere in between November 21st and December 22nd. So yeah, we'll probably message you or some shit.
Yeah, we'll message you on our Facebook page, our Facebook group, because that's where you joined us. So make sure you reach out to us, and we will get you the Leia on a speeder pop figure as soon as we can.
But shout out to everybody that joined and added and
liked, you know, keep listening, because we're going to continue doing giveaways from time to time.
Yeah.
So
our year one's coming up here soon.
My one?
Our year one.
Oh, our year one. Yeah. So
what do you want to do for that?
We have an idea already.
Yeah, but we have that one exclusive thing we're gonna put in there though. Yeah. I thought we were gonna do like a.
No, what I want to do is I want to get us a T-shirt, just some T-shirts, and I want to give out a T-shirt as well and stuff like that. So. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know why everything I say about it's censored. It's fucking weird.
So yeah, what's his name again?
Gary Freeland.
Gary Freeland. So congratulations, man. I hope you enjoy it.
Freeland.
And we will be reaching out to you tonight, actually. Actually, we probably could do it here in the next few
minutes. Maybe
and
possibly an afternoon. I don't know.
All right, so moving on.
Your
to
Facebook profile picture's actually pretty badass too.
You got any video games? Have you played any video games lately?
I started playing Final Fantasy 15. Finally, it's a good game.
Yeah.
It looks crisp as shit though. Like it's a really beautiful looking game.
On the PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation. But other than that, no. I played Pokemon a little bit. I don't think there was anything else I played.
I was sitting here the other day, and
yeah,
the big thing right now in video game is PUBG. Like PUBG's huge right now, and I'm excited. We're planning on getting a game for us to play so we could talk about it and such. But
PUBG, where we get winner chicken dinners.
Winner chicken dinner. But I was sitting there thinking, I was like, there's all this backlash from what's been going on with Star Wars games. Somebody should make a freaking PUBG version of Star Wars.
Hey, hey, trademarked.
I don't think we can do that. But
Shh, they don't know that. Trademarked.
But how cool would that be, man?
That'd
like,
be
just imagine, like, throwing you in the middle
essentially Battlefront 2.
Battlefront, but better.
But with a secondary weapon that's not longer than 5 seconds.
But I mean, you're like just a random rebel, and you're just thrown into the middle of the field with nothing.
And
you have to survive.
Yeah. And then you can play
instead of cars and doom buggies, you got like speeder bikes and land speeders and shit, like swoop bikes. Come on,
you can do it in
like
Tatooine, Jakku,
exactly.
Crate if you want to be a badass.
I mean, honestly, EA, if they really wanted to, could
do it,
do that and make it as an add-on to Battlefront 2. Like
I'm surprised they haven't,
because I mean that survival type of gameplay or game. It's like really big right now.
But they probably gave up on the game because everybody bitched about it.
No, they haven't given up on it.
They've probably given up on most of the stuff they wanted to do.
I don't think so. I just think that would be pretty cool. I mean, being big Star Wars nerds, we like it, but
I'd play it all day.
Yeah, I already said John will be back. We're going to be doing a CW Airverse special just in time to prepare for the second half of all the shows.
We're lubing up the beehole today.
Woo! Ash vs. Evil Dead. Now, I know that this show's been on for a couple years now.
Has it?
Yeah. It's got 2 seasons out on Netflix. I finally got a chance to watch all of them. Absolutely loved the first season. First season was fantastic. It was like... It literally was like watching Evil Dead or Evil Dead 2 again, but... Not again, but
different.
But different because it's a different story.
Yeah.
But it felt it had the same feel as Evil Dead 2 and everything like that. More so Evil Dead 2 than the first one. Now, season 2, I tell you what, the first 4 or 5 episodes just felt really off to me. Like there was just something about it, like it didn't feel like Evil Dead. Like it had the characters, it had the the Deadites, it had the Necronomicon, but there was just something about it that just was like something's off. And then I want to say it was like episode 5, maybe 6, I think it was.
That you realized something was indeed off.
No, where they got back to what makes Evil Dead so good. And the thing about Evil Dead that's always made it so good is, yes, it's based on horror.
Yes.
But it's satire. It's completely...
it's self-aware.
It's self-aware. It knows that it's funny. That's why they made Evil Dead 2. That's why Sam Raimi made the first Evil Dead, was completely trying to make a horror film. People were like, this is kind of hokey, but yet I kind of like it. So he made Evil Dead 2, which was essentially a remake of Evil Dead 1.
Yeah.
Essentially. But made it a straight comedy. A comedy horror movie. And that's what makes it so good. And season 2, it kind of felt like they got away from... I won't say they got away from the comedy aspect. It feels like they tried to push the comedy aspect.
They tried
to
be Disney,
and that I felt in their first half of the second season hurt it, but it finished strong. Second season finished strong, yeah. So I'm hoping season 3, which comes out February or March or something like that, just continues that trend.
You finished it just in time.
I did.
What's the next series you're gonna watch?
I don't know. I gotta finish the new season of Black Mirror. It's just those first 2 episodes. I couldn't get into them.
What if the next 2 or 3 episodes are amazing?
Well, I'm hoping they are. I just gotta find time to sit down and watch them.
I can carry the podcast, Bob. Go ahead.
About damn time you do some lifting here.
Hey, just ready for dick jokes for an hour and a half.
Actually, right now, X-Files is back, which
I never got into X-Files.
I completely forgot. I was sitting here watching, what was it? Was there a hockey game or something last Wednesday? I don't remember what I was watching on TV.
The disappointment that is the Pens this season.
I don't think it was a Pens game even. I think it was just another team. I was just, because when there's nothing on TV, I usually just throw on a random NHL game. And I'm sitting there and I was like, oh man, this game is boring. So I'm like kind of flipping through the channels or the guide, and I was like, wait, X-Files? Oh shit, X-Files is back. Tits. So I finished watching whatever I was watching the game, because there was only like a half hour left or something in it, and then I went and watched the X-Files, and it was a damn good episode. The thing with X-Files is the X-Files has always been a better show when they utilize the villain of the week storyline, or not storyline, but storytelling. So like, yes, X-Files has always had this overarching story of, aliens and Mulder trying to find out the truth about that. Then you have the
aliens.
Then you have the overarching storyline of Scully, who, spoilers if you've never watched X-Files, but she is abducted early on in one of the earlier seasons and impregnated, and different things like that happen. Hot. Then later on in the series, Mulder and Scully get together and she gets pregnant and they have a kid together and stuff like that. Whoa. So like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that happens.
A third alien?
No, but
whoa.
But
no, we gotta talk about this. You can't just skip that. Did she give birth to the alien?
I don't know. See, here's the thing.
Is it like a cliffhanger storyline where they just don't tell you what happened there?
Well, no, because she's like impregnated by like an alien or something. What we believe at the time is an alien.
Anally, duh.
But they then take it out of her, so she doesn't like go through the pregnancy.
So it was like an embryo that they took.
Kind of, yeah. But then eventually she does have a kid with Mulder and stuff like that. Like that's the whole.
Does she ever see her half hybrid alien thing?
I think there is an episode. I can't remember. Dude, there's like 170 episodes. I can't remember them all.
Oh, come on. So, you got them cataloged in your head.
No, I really don't. And most of them I watched. Like, I did start to rewatch X-Files a couple years ago. I started like from episode 1 I was going forward, but then Netflix took it off. So I kind of stopped rewatching it.
Naked.
But I watched a lot of them because my brother was huge into X-Files when I was a kid, and I would watch it with him. I remember the one episode, we weren't watching, he was actually in his bedroom watching it, and I was in my bedroom watching it, and the episode started off with a car chase. And it was like a news headline, like, news headline, car chase, blah, 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 stuff like that. And I got all excited. I was like, whoa, it's like OJ again. And I like run into my bedroom to go tell my mom, like, hey, my brother's like, Bobby, that's X-Files, man. I'm like,
That's funny.
But no, I watched a lot of them when I was a kid. So a lot of this stuff, like I remember some of the bigger points, and I do have a couple episodes from earlier episodes that really stuck out that I really liked,
like anal probing to make a baby.
But I've always wanted to go back and rewatch all of them, and Netflix was like, nope, they took it away from me. I was like, ah.
I think it's on Hulu.
Yeah, but that costs money.
I have a Hulu account.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Why have you never asked me for it? I thought we talked about this.
Maybe we have. But let's see what else. So X-Files. So yeah, I think that when they do that villain of the week where there's some monster or alien that they're hunting down that week and then it's over with, that is, I think, the best use of that show, because that overarching story, like I said, it's been going on since episode 1 essentially, and it's just tiresome sometimes, and there's like characters that have died, that didn't die, that are back now, and it's just like
so The Walking Dead.
Yeah, kinda. And that's kind of what this episode, the first episode of this season, kind of did. Was it was an episode, showing us where everybody is at with the overarching story.
It was a recap.
Yeah, kind of. And it was just not recap, but it was just like, this is where they're at. Like that's what it was. And it didn't feel X-Files enough for me.
Right after the OJ chase scene.
It was good. It just wasn't what I wanted. Like last season, the one that came out 2 years ago, I think had one of the best episodes in all of X-Files history. I can't remember what it was called, but it was one where they're in this little town and there's this guy that transforms into like some kind of like swamp monster looking thing. It's hilarious. Like that was one of the best X-File episodes ever. It had humor. It had a couple jump scares. It had the relationship. It had a relationship between Mulder and Scully that really was strong and working. It was perfect. that's what I want to see. I want to see more of that stuff. So again, we'll see where the season goes.
Will we?
Well, I will at least. Hey, speaking of Hulu, the Animaniacs is coming back on Hulu.
Yeah, I saw that. Is it going to be like new episodes or?
Yeah, I believe it's new
like
episodes.
a
It's
full
like
reboot?
rebooting it or something like that.
That's
So,
exciting.
Hopefully,
I like
the
this.
animation is similar to what it was. Like, it doesn't need to be exact because I know anymore that they've been updating.
Yeah, don't
the
give me
animation,
3D.
but don't do like. I'm not a big fan of the animation. Like, I loved DuckTales growing up, and Disney has recently redone all of DuckTales, and I've watched some of the episodes because they are actually pretty good. I just don't like the animation. It's just
The touching up is too much.
yeah. Sometimes the way they change the animation, I don't really like. But yeah.
Do you think they'll be able to get away with so many innuendos like they did when I was a kid, or when you were a kid?
Probably, especially on Hulu.
Yeah, well, that's true. It's not going to be on
Yeah.
like Nate. No,
What was it on? It was on Fox back in the day. It was Fox.
It was-
I mean, it was
wasn't
made
on,
by
like-
Warner Brothers, but
Yeah, it was on like the 4Kids thing or something.
yeah, Fox for Kids on Saturdays, I think.
Yeah, I used to watch it all the time.
You had like that. You had Pinky and the Brain, which actually spun off of.
Yeah,
of
it's
that.
spun off.
You had Tiny Toons.
I had like, wasn't Pokemon on there at one point in time?
You also. I'm talking about good shows.
Wow, man.
Freakazoid.
Pokemon was
Freakazoid
good.
was
The
good.
first season of Pokemon was good.
But yeah, there's some good times in cartoon history there. Let me tell you.
Yeah, back in the day.
Back in the day.
Sits back, props up feet, smokes a pipe. Back in the day.
So I know I don't know why I'm going to ask you this because I pretty much already know the answer.
Okay.
But Deej and I think his co-host name is
Colton. Whoa, we're self-aware.
Liam or
Liam Neeson?
Ian maybe.
Ian Neeson.
Liam. Hey Deej, I'm sorry if I got it wrong. You can yell at me later. But he and his co-host were talking about
Neeson?
their past episode. They were talking about The Walking Dead.
Yes.
And how disappointed they are in this season and everything. I know you haven't watched The Walking Dead in years.
Yeah. No,
but
the Walking Dead's just bad now.
they brought up a good point that they still have yet to announce that it has been renewed for season 9. So normally by this time it's renewed and they're like, "Hey, it's renewed!" Everybody is all joyous and excited.
Mm-hmm.
Does it worry you at all? Not that it not.
I mean,
does it worry you that? That's the wrong way to say it. Are you concerned? Do you think that it's done? Do you think that they're like, okay, we're probably going to end it now?
You know what? Kind of maybe they might be ending it because of all the backlash from the past like four seasons.
See, that's the thing. It hasn't been backlash for the past 4 seasons. Like for me, yes. But this season, I feel has been an excellent season. Yeah, it's had a couple down episodes, the last couple episodes, but
where no one can hit the side of a barn.
Yeah, but honestly, the storytelling wise, I think this has been the best storytelling that they've done since season 2. And a lot of people, that's what I hate because I'm so different than the main
vast
fan base. Because everybody hated season 2. Everybody thought season 2 was the worst season. I think it's the best season story wise. I think it has the best story. I think there is a lot of character development there, and that's what I like seeing. I like seeing character development. We went for a season and a half or 2 seasons where Rick was just mopey Rick seeing visions of shit. There was like no character development of our main character for
he was
2
just
seasons.
hallucinating.
In seasons 3 and 4. It was just it was a pain in the ass, because I want to see Rick become more, and it just never happened. Yeah, we've had a couple character development aspects of the show, but they always do that with characters that are annoying or no one really
that they're
cares
gonna
about,
kill off in a
or
couple
who they
episodes.
kill off and that's what they always did. They've always been like, okay, so we're gonna take this character, nobody really knows about them. All right, we're gonna tell their story here, and boom, they're dead.
Yeah, we're gonna give them a whole season. Boom, dead.
Not even a whole season. It's literally like a 2-episode story arc, or sometimes even one episode story arc. Like, this is who this person is, and then an episode later they kill him. And it became so predictable. That was always my problem. Yet everybody loved it. Everybody loved that show. Everybody loved watching those little short character development episodes. And I'm like, that no, because we know what's going to happen. It's kind of a giveaway. So as the series moved on, I feel the last 2 seasons have been damn good, and partially because of Negan. I think Negan has really pushed this show back to what makes it so good, because his character is forcing other characters to develop and grow and stuff like that. And that's what you want to see in a show. For some reason, people just don't like it. And I don't get it. Like, the main fan base just isn't liking The Walking Dead right now. look, they're killing off Carl. Spoiler, they're killing off Carl.
I don't think it's a spoiler at this point.
Which they didn't do. They have never done in the comics. You know, he's still alive in the comics right now. But I give them a shit ton of credit for trying something new.
Yeah.
You know, doing something to get away from the comics. I've always said, yes, stick to the comics. I want to see the main story plots from the comics.
Yeah.
But you don't need to follow...
Whatever side stories happens,
and you don't need to follow it beat by beat.
Yeah.
You know, because let the writers, let the producers, the story writers, the story writers, the showrunners, let them
have some creative freedom.
Exactly. And that's why Robert Kirkman walked away from the show, because I think he wanted to stick more towards
the source
material. Or no, I'm sorry, he wanted to not stick to it as much. Because they really didn't. Like the past few seasons, I think they went too far from the story. Mm-hmm. And that's where I had a lot of problems, because they would go follow the storylines of Beth or Morgan and stuff like that, which are interesting characters to learn about. But again, when you don't want to spend like more than 4 or 5 episodes on that. Exactly, because we want to know. You have main characters. You know, you have Rick, you have Carl, you have Michonne, you have 3 or 4 main characters that you want to learn about. Don't go off and give me 3 episodes where we don't even see the main characters.
Yeah, not even a reference or anything.
So Robert Kirkman left because that's what he liked doing. He liked expanding it a lot more. Mm-hmm. And I understand the reason they did that. They did that because they were catching up to where the comics were.
Yeah,
they had to slow down a little bit. I get that. And I think they were kind of like, look, people want to see what's in the comic. And he's right. People do want to see what's in the comic. But they also know that they can't stick to the comic 100%, and that's fine. Mm. And I agree with that. And that's what they did with Carl here. Killing off Carl, while I'm very curious on what they're going to do, because that's Rick's drive in the comics is, where's Carl going to go? Who's he going to be? You know, or not Carl, Rick. Where is he going to be? Because Rick was all about protecting Carl and making a better life for Carl. So what's he going to do? What's his drive now? I'm curious to see where they go with it. A lot of people speculate that they're going to be this is setting up to kill Rick off, and maybe the show will then focus on Negan. I don't think they're going to go that way, because that'd be an interesting twist. Jeffrey Dean Morgan probably cost twice as much as Andrew Lincoln would cost as a main character. But
you don't know that.
I don't know that. But I mean, when you really truly think about it, I mean, they're trying something different. They're doing something weird. Yeah, it is kind of weird. You know, like, well, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't have to make sense. You know, let them try something new. If it doesn't work, they'll find a way to rectify it. You know, I'm not going to say they're going to bring Carl back to life, even though they've done that with Glenn.
They're going to throw on his plot armor real quick.
Yeah. But I just think that, you know, people need to chill with that. And when it comes to them not announcing a season 9, I have a feeling there's a story reason for that. Mm-hmm. I just have this feeling like they're setting something up in the show for us to believe that Rick is going to die.
Then take like a year or so off.
No. They're going to do something on the show, maybe in like 1 or 2 episodes, because it comes back in a couple weeks. When it comes back, I have a feeling that they're going to be like, okay, there's this episode, and then the next episode, you're going to be like, shit, did Rick die? You know, and they don't want to announce the next season because Rick is the main character. Yeah. So they don't want to announce the next season until that following episode where it's like, Rick didn't die. And you're like, okay, and then 2 days later, they're going to be like, and season 9's greenlit.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. I that's what I think is going to happen. That's what I believe. I do think that they are winding down, though. I think that we're going to see this show end at season 10 because they're going to end on a high note. And while ratings are dropping, by season 10, by 2 seasons from now, unless they fuck up majorly, they're still going to have high ratings. And it'll be a good idea to end on season 10.
End on a high note. They find some LSD, puff some tree to look Vietnamese, and just go.
End on season 10.
No, they eat. They inhale bath salts and eat each other's faces. But the zombies weren't real. Everybody was just high on bath salts.
End on season 10.
Tripping in an alleyway.
Create another Walking Dead show.
Like Fear the Walking Dead.
Like Fear the Walking Dead, but better.
You beat me to it.
But create another show. Do that for a few years, and then maybe go back to that crew. Go back to those people. You know, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line for a short season, kind of like what they've done with 24, with X-Files, with Will and Grace, with Roseanne. Like, they took time off, and they never expected that they were going to come back, but they decided, hey, this is a good time to bring it back. So they just bring it back after a few years. Just give us a short, 10, 15 episode season. No, 15 isn't short because there are 16 episodes. But
like a 10 episode.
10 episode season.
A nice catching up, tell your story, and that's it.
Exactly. Like, that's what I think they should do because
that would be no filler at that point.
No,
for the size of The Walking Dead, there would be no filler.
There'd be really no filler. Just be story to run through it. I think
if
that's,
it catches on, maybe season 2,
and
Stranger Things.
And they want to make money off of the property that they have right now. So that's why I say make a separate Walking Dead show. But I think these characters, these storylines, are getting to the point where
we don't care anymore.
It's not that we don't care. It's just we're tired. We're tired, and we want to see something new. And while they're trying to do something new right now, people aren't taking it well. They're taking it well. So end it and go back to it a few years later.
Know how you fix The Walking Dead? Turn it into Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, there you
Bring
go.
in tanks and shit.
Yeah, there you go. Witches.
Witches would be a nice addition. I think those could actually be canon in Walking Dead. I think you could put the witches in Walking Dead and not too many complaints about it.
See, I think it would be cool that if what they did, I think it'd be a badass idea, actually. I just thought of this because
here we go. Movie boot. Coming back in 2018.
Walking boot.
There you go. Just that cast that you put on your leg after you break your leg.
So they ended at season 10. They get a different group of people, but you set it somewhere where they're actually in a civilization. Like there's a civilization built where they're actually trying to find a cure. They're trying to make a cure for this. All right, and they fuck up and do something like that where they inject a walker and they're like, hey, it's coming back to life, but it gains abilities that is just crazy and starts to be able to. And this is getting a little off of what The Walking Dead is, but I just think it would be cool because it would change the game.
Yeah,
because the walkers, like I've always said, the walkers have always become like they were always supposed to be the main thread of the story, but they've slowly become a side character that nobody really worries about.
Yeah, they're just a laughing joke now.
So, like, I would love to see them find a way to bring it back, and if they have some kind of experiment that's being done, and they create like a few witches or tanks or something like that, like from Left 4 Dead, and obviously name them something different and do different things with them. Like then you kind of turn it into a little more of like Resident Evil, but don't go that far with it.
Yeah, just 5 of them. That's all you need.
A few of them, yeah, a few different type of things that you have one that can rally other walkers. You have ones that are just big and like
just tanks.
And then you have the crazy ones, like crazy things that just run around and have no fear, concern of anything, and
get hunters that stalk in the night.
I just think that would be a cool idea.
That would be. I could get behind that. I would probably watch Walking Dead again for that.
You do that, so you do like 4 or 5 seasons of that, and then you jump back to our old crew, the original crew, now dealing with that shit.
Yeah, and like all their storylines have progressed enough for you to be like,
Carl will be grown, or wait, nope, he won't be.
Carl would become one of them.
That'd be pretty cool.
So you could title those callback.
Yeah, but I mean, Judith could be leading, leading the fray, and if they kill Rick or what, he may be dead at that time, or he may be alive. Who knows?
And
There's so much they could do.
He's 70 years old and just sacrifices himself for the rest of the group to get away.
Yeah.
Boom.
I don't know. I just think that there's a lot of potential there if they play their cards right.
Yeah.
Because they have to start thinking outside the box. Because we're going on 8 years of The Walking Dead
of basically the same thing,
and it's been basically the same thing. And I think, like I said, people are tired. They want to see something different. And not just 8 years of The Walking Dead, but I mean we've had the zombie genre since the 70s. So
yeah, no, I'm getting fed up with zombies and everything.
And you kind of have to change it up a little bit from time to time. And I know Robert Kirkman and what he's done with the comics have been fantastic, and let him continue his own thing. If this is going to be completely different than that, let it be different.
Yeah, because at that point, then those won't have to be canon.
Exactly.
And in comic book canon.
And then you have your TV canon, you have your comic book canon.
Yeah, and that's where the...
Yeah, and who knows? I don't know. That's just me. I'm weird. I'd like to see different things happen.
That could be a nice little Netflix, episode or season 10.5, and it's just a nice little 5-episode thing. Yeah,
the thing is AMC's never gonna let go of their.
Well, even that AMC 5 episodes, season 10.5.
Yeah, they could do something like that. They really could.
Because you only would need 4 or 5 episodes for that.
Yeah.
That's enough.
And then just come back every couple years, maybe.
Yeah. Just like, and then you pick up. Well, you'd have to do season 11 almost immediately after that, because everybody'd be like, "What the hell's this? You do this, you don't give me anything."
They'd find a way to do it. I know that.
And then like season 11, take a year, 2 years, and then make season 12.
Yeah.
So that way like, oh hey, Walking Dead's back.
Yeah, exactly. Make it an event.
Yeah.
Like that's
like Star Wars. Like remember when Star Wars was 2 years?
3 years.
3 years?
Yeah, but no, that's the thing. Like, you take a look, like X-Files, for instance. The last season was 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're making an event type of thing, and we may not get a season 12 of X-Files. I hope that we do, but I know Gillian Anderson is like, I don't want to do it. I'm done after season 11. So maybe she's done. Maybe you know, David Duchovny comes back and they find a way to write her off the show, and it makes sense and be good. Even though that's a big part of the story is those two.
Yeah, that's a big hole.
But maybe they find a way. But making every couple years just having an event sometimes I think is better than you know, every single year having the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, just you're burned out.
Yeah,
everybody's burned out. Let your writers rest.
I mean, for the last 3 or 4 years, we've had Walking Dead almost on TV nonstop.
Yeah.
Every week for the most part, because you have The Walking Dead start in October, and that ends in May, and then June starts Fear the Walking Dead, that ends in October, and then October starts like that's how it's been for the last 3 years or so.
Yeah, and you got it. People need breaks. Hollywood.
Yeah, but again, I'm calling you out, Deej, from Nerd Talkalypse, buddy. I'm sorry. This season has been excellent.
And Neeson Nielsen, whatever his name is.
Sorry, co-host of Nerd Talkalypse. I can't remember your name. I apologize. I don't talk to you. I only talk to Deej. But I'm calling you out, man. I don't think this season has been bad. I know that a lot of people, especially you, don't like it. I don't understand why. I think that taking a chance, doing something different is what this show needs to do to survive at least another 2 years. And I think that's what it needs to do. I think it needs, if it can push itself to season 10, that's what it needs to do, and then end at 10, and then maybe at some point come back. I think if they would have continued going the route that they were going, you know, and I think it would have died, you know, this season or even next, you know, and I think if they can end on season 10, that's a little, you know, feather they can put in their hat. Like, we made it to 10 seasons. We did over 100 episodes.
Yep.
Good for us.
We told a good story for 25% of it.
Yeah.
And we jump-started a ton of careers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I mean, jump-started a few, yeah. I mean, Andrew Lincoln was doing stuff before, but...
You know what I mean.
Yeah, but Denai Guerrera, whatever her name is, who plays Michonne.
Saw Gerrera.
Denai Guerrera, or whatever her name is, she's in Black Panther. You know, like, she's now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is crazy.
Her name's already engraved.
Music, don't really have anything for music, although we did talk about what our plan is coming up with music. So
is a neighborhood.
Sometimes it is. Do you want to do Star Wars now or save that for last?
Star Wars.
I have a bunch of Star Wars stuff.
Well, do you want me to make an ass out of myself now or later?
Make an ass out of yourself. No, not now, but in a couple minutes.
Okay.
Real quick, I'm going to talk Cloverfield movie. We're talking about yesterday, the threequel. Or not yesterday, last week. We're talking about the threequel. You know, it was supposed to come out, February 28th or something like that, or February 1st or something. It has now officially been pushed to April 20th, the same day as Super Troopers 2. So...
that sucks, because that's like my birthday month, and I'll probably be in the movies a lot.
Yeah. Hey, if you were to get the AMC rewards card like I have, you get free popcorn and pop on your birthday month. Just saying.
But I don't really go to concession stands in the movie theater. Well, depends.
Bullshit! Every time we've gotten food.
Okay, but how often have we ate before we've gone in?
Yeah, we usually go eat beforehand or after.
We normally eat after.
Yeah.
If we eat before, I don't go to concession stand at all.
Bright sequel. Again, we were talking about this last week, and it has officially been confirmed.
Is it slightly dimmer or slightly brighter? Or is it semi-charmed kind of life?
That.
Yes.
So I don't know why I had that stuff there. I'm gonna get rid of that so I don't confuse myself later.
So technology, lapses. So I'll talk for a little bit. How's you guys doing over there?
All right. So DC films.
Wait, hold on. Let me finish my question. How are you guys doing? We care about you.
I honestly, I don't know. I guess this isn't my updated notes here. So there was a big shakeup in DC, in the DC studio, or WB Warner Brothers, for the DC division. They now have a new head of DC film development. So it's actually some guy who was a horror director.
That's gonna be tits.
So he's kind of taken over, overseeing all of the DC films that are being made. Jeff Johns is staying on as the president of creative control, or whatever it is, for DC comics and films. So Jeff Johns is kind of, he welcomed him on Twitter and stuff like that. I can't remember his name because I don't have my updated notes, which I'm pissed about. No. So that's kind of interesting. We'll see how that all plays out with, this year, 2018, we only have Aquaman coming out. So
did you tell people?
What?
You're starring as Aquaman that year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it starts off with Aquaman really letting himself go.
Yeah, really letting him.
Really letting
Damn, you just called me fat.
I
asshole.
mean, I didn't call you fat.
I am fat. But...
I called you fluffy. Yeah, no, he said he really lets himself go. Like alcohol and all. Then he gets some badass tattoos.
That's not really.
It's his orange or
his orange story.
He gets through a phase where he really likes the color orange and the fruit orange.
I mean, he does. His color's orange in the
pulpy
comics.
Orange juice.
Orange and green, buddy.
He tries to make a orange watermelon. Okay, I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Thank you. Josh Whedon's Batgirl is still, moving forward. He's writing it, getting ready probably to. I'm sure production's probably going to start within the next year or so for it. But some interesting news came out, or not news, but interesting talks or something came out on Twitter as Lindsay Lohan. She twittered a tweet that stated, "Retweet if I should star in the new Batgirl movie, and everyone tell at Joss," talking about Joss Whedon. Mm-hmm. So what do you think? Lindsay Lohan as Batgirl?
Please don't. Wait, no. Is Lindsay Lohan? Lehan? No, man, I can't talk to. Is Lindsay Lohan still a crackhead?
Maybe, but maybe this gets her out of it. Maybe this is something that like she becomes a better person now.
Batgirl starts off.
Barbara, what are you doing?
Just knocked my mic off the table.
I don't know. I actually, like, at first, like, I posted it in a group, and I was like, oh, God. But then I started thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? She's actually a good actress. Like, she's
when she can function.
When she actually puts an effort in. Like, Mean Girls, I think, is a good movie. What is it? Lucky You or whatever, like, with her and Chris Pine. I thought that was a decent movie.
Let's not forget
Herbie.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the name of it.
Herbie Fully Loaded.
You're fully loaded.
And she acted in that with Michael Keaton, and she was able to establish her dad, and she acted alongside him really well. She's a decent or good actress. She really is. So I think she could pull it off. I'm not against the idea, actually.
Like I said, if she's not... you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Guys, I was just snorting sugar.
I think she's at the point in her life right now where she's like, I'm irrelevant right now. I need to become more relevant. Yeah, How do I do that?
I need
Get into a
money.
superhero movie. Like, I think that's what it is.
I need drug money.
And, she's a redhead. Barbara's a redhead. Batgirl's a redhead. So she was like, maybe I can get into that because that would fit me perfectly and look. But I actually think she could pull it off. I'm not going to lie. I think she could. I think she could.
Maybe.
Not going to lie. Rumor of an extended cut of Justice League may have been confirmed.
That's exciting.
It's also going to be out on Blu-ray, DVD, 4K, all that, according to Best Buy's website on March 13th. Now,
oh my God, that's still 2 months away.
Over at Amazon Germany, a new listing for the pre-order for Justice League includes a runtime of 135 minutes, which is actually a full 15 minutes longer than the theatrical cut. So we're going to get 15 minutes extended cut, which...
Yay. We're going to get a scene where Aquaman takes his pants off or something.
I mean, I'm kind of curious.
Just pull your pants down, man.
I'm not really curious.
You still can pull your pants down. You're Aquaman. Let us not forget.
All right, so nothing really else for DC news.
Sadly. I think it was still fun, though.
Spider-Man Homecoming. Moving on to Marvel. Spider-Man Homecoming sequel is going to start filming in June.
You're a Spider-Man Homecoming sequel.
Am I? All right.
I'm interested to see his story after Infinity War.
So am I.
Hopefully he keeps the Iron Spider suit. And gets those extra arms. I like the extra arms. Here we go. This is the transition to Colton making an ass out of himself.
So... we got a few months until Avengers Infinity War comes out. And a few months. It comes out in May, so
a handful.
4.5 months. It's almost the middle of January.
It is January 8th.
It's almost the middle of January.
What kind of tree are you puffing on?
Okay. Anyways, moving forward. So I wanted to do something different, do something that would get us built up, because a lot of people complained to us that we had all this build up to Justice League and Star Wars,
Rachel.
and I wanted to do something different that we've never done before, leading up to Avengers. I wanted to do something, so I decided, because Colton here, he likes comic book movies, the superhero genre. He likes going and watching them, but he's not like a lot of the comic book nerds that go out and not only see it once in the movie theater, but twice, 3 times, or goes home and buys it and watches it over and over again at home.
Okay, bullshit.
With Star Wars, you do.
Okay.
But
I have a multiple comic book movies.
Okay, but anyways.
Whoa!
As your chair just breaks.
Oh, that scared the shit out of me.
So, but here's the thing with Marvel movies. I mean, you take a look at the DC movies. I'm sure I could sit here and ask you, hey, what happened in this DC movie? What happened in this one? And you could tell me without any problem.
Yes.
Marvel, it's a little bit different.
It's because I can watch Iron Man 1 and I watched Iron Man 2 and 3 all at the same time.
Exactly. So, what we're going to do every week leading up to Avengers Infinity War.
Except for this week.
We're doing it this week.
Yeah, but I gotta do 2 this week.
Yeah, you're gonna do 2 this week. And what we're gonna do is Colton is going to retell all of us fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He's going to retell us the movies and and what he remembers in his vision.
We're rewriting canon here.
Now, we're going to go in release order. All right, we're going to go from
what's the music that's playing right now?
This is the Avengers theme.
Yes, the Avengers theme by
yeah, I guess I should look at that, huh? That is by Alan Silvestri. It was from the first Avengers movie, which, like I said, I think is a great theme. I thought it was an excellent theme, but it just has been underutilized since.
Yeah, it's only been in every Avengers film.
It hasn't been, though. Like, little bits and pieces. Little bits and pieces.
Oh, but you mean, like, as a whole,
but
it hasn't been.
Like, honestly, if you go to a non-Marvel fan and you play this and say, hey, what's this from? They're going to be like, oh, I've heard it before, but I have no idea what it's from. Now, if I go and take, say, the Star Wars theme to somebody, they're like, that's Star Wars. If I take, even like Superman's theme and say, what's that from? They're going to be like, Superman. But people don't know what this is. And that's where I've always said this. I think that Marvel and Disney have dropped the ball on that musical feel, like that feel of just when you hear a piece of music, you think that character.
You're like, ooh.
Like, I think that they should have done a theme for each character, including for the Avengers as well, and utilized a lot more because.
Oh yeah, that would have made so many more scenes, so much.
Well, not only makes the scenes better, but it's that.
It's my dick in a box.
Yeah, it's that thing where you could be sitting there and you're the TV's on and you're sitting there cooking dinner or something, or you're writing something or reading a book, and all of a sudden you hear that theme and you're like, oh, Iron Man. And you put that book down, you walk into the living room, you go and watch because you know that's Iron Man, you know that's the Avengers.
Or you catch yourself whistling to it.
Exactly, and they don't have that with the Marvel.
Actually, I catch myself whistling the Superman theme all the time
because it's such a damn good theme.
I'll be walking through work and I'm like, shit, I'm whistling it.
So, all right, so I'm going to turn the music down really low now for this because.
You want to hear this crisp voice.
So we're going to go in release order. Okay, we're going to go from Iron Man 1 all the way up to Black Panther, which will be out.
So I'm doing Black Panther. I need to see that before.
Well, yes.
I have to get at least a little bit there.
At least that'll be the last. It'll be out before.
Yeah,
before you get to having to retell it.
Fingers crossed.
So the first movie. Now here's the thing. I've seen all of the Marvel Cinematic movies more than one time. Okay,
Bob knows them like the back of his hand.
I know, with the exception of one movie. There's one movie in the cinematic. No, two. Sorry, 2 movies I've not seen more than once, and that's Ant-Man and that's Doctor Strange. Before we get to those where you have to retell it, I will watch them again. That way, I can correct you on anything that you're wrong with.
I like Doctor Strange though, so he's probably my favorite Marvel one.
Okay,
so far.
So the first one we're going to start with was the first movie in the franchise, which was Iron Man 1.
Here we go.
What day did that come out? God, I should have done this already.
Came out like a couple years ago.
Iron Man 1?
Yeah. Came out at least 2 years ago.
It came out May 2nd, 2008.
I'm not wrong. Oh my God, it's been 10 years.
Yeah. So, tell us, what happened in that movie?
Okay, so
what drove Tony Stark to become Iron Man?
Well, he felt bad. because he ran over a puppy on his way to an Iranian drug and weapons cartel.
He ran over a puppy?
Yeah, because hold on, I'm telling the story. He ran over a puppy in the desert to the Iranian drug/weapons dealers because he secretly sparked the Gulf War 10 years prior to this movie coming out. Yeah, and that's how it starts.
Okay, keep going.
And so they're like, yeah, boom, boom, boom. And then he realizes that, like, oh shit, I was giving weapons to the bad guys. So he makes the Iron Man suit, kind of. No, I think it was a side project. I don't remember. It's been like 10 years since I've seen the movie.
Keep going.
And so he's like, oh, pew, 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 pew.
And as he's doing that, he's putting up his hands like he's shooting.
Yeah, the pews. So anyway. So yeah, and he falls into a car. I remember that from the promotional shit.
Falls into a car?
Yeah, like he falls down and gets to a fucking car. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
I remember that in the promotional shit.
I have no idea where you're at right now in the movie. So,
like, okay, he gave the drugs and the weapons to the Iranian people, and now they're making a nuke.
I'll keep going.
So in response, like, he's like, oh man, I feel so bad, but I got to make right on what I did because I just realized how bad I am. So that's why he becomes Iron Man. By becomes Iron Man, he makes the suit to become Iron Man.
Okay.
No, he fuses with the suit, like Dragon Ball Z style.
That would be so badass.
He like fuses.
That would have been the first $1 billion Marvel movie if that would have happened.
But the thing is, he only has 15 minutes. Canon.
Until Nick Fury comes with the guitar earrings. He's like, here you go.
But then they're a different Iron Man.
They're called Man Iron, not Iron Man.
Yes, and it's just like it's
what
like
the hell happened?
It's like Winter Soldier's arm, but an entire body. Okay, so now that we've explained Iron Man, how Iron Man became Iron Man. He goes and he single-handedly wins the Gulf War for USA. America! And goes home, he fucks a bitch, gets some money.
Who does he fuck?
Bitches. He goes to fucking LA and just is pulling hose on both arms.
I mean, it's true, he does pull hose on both arms.
But and then he's like, I am Iron Man, and then dies. But doesn't die, he comes back to life.
What?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
There was a necromancer somewhere. It was pretty badass. You don't remember that? It was an extended cut. No. It was the director's cut.
No. I want to point out to everybody that he's being completely serious about 90% of this. Like 90% of this is completely serious.
Yeah, you can tell where I'm not being serious.
10% he's not. But literally the story plot, the story points that he's talking about, a lot of it he really believes. So he has nothing written here. He's not reading anything. He's literally just talking from his ass.
Yeah, I was sitting up in my chair, put headphones on the dimples of my ass cheeks, pulled down my pants, and just started shitting out words.
My thing here was I didn't want to tell him that we were doing this until today because I didn't want him to prepare. Like, that's the whole thing. I didn't want him to prepare for this.
No, I'm ready for Iron Man 2 and 3 because, like, never watched this before in my life.
But all right, so keep going with Iron Man. Okay. So you haven't even gotten to who's the villain in Iron Man?
The Iranian. Okay, Joseph Stalin.
Joseph Stalin.
Yeah, he's the secret. I don't fucking remember. Iron Man. It's Man Iron, his alternative fusion form. I don't remember who the villain was. It was Thor, wasn't it? No, Thor.
Obadiah Stane. That was his.
Oh yeah, Obadiah
his
Stane,
business partner.
Like
became the Ironmonger.
Like Hercules, but not.
All right.
So Iron Man, on a scale from 1 to 10, how badass did I do?
Yeah, you did pretty horribly.
So hey, I got a couple plot points I remember.
Yeah, there's a few things that you remember, but just quickly going over what actually happened in the movie.
Yeah, the fusion dance. Goku was there. He made a short cameo appearance.
He is, basically a weapons dealer. He's in the Middle East, showing off some of his weapons.
Iranians.
His convoy gets hit. He gets captured. Problem is when his convoy gets hit, he gets shrapnel put in there. It goes into his chest and it's going towards his heart. So he and a scientist in the little prison that they're held up in the mountainsides of the Middle East, they create a makeshift arc reactor to help make the pieces not go into his heart. In doing that, he's able to power a very mean-looking Iron Man suit that helps him escape from being captured. He then makes his way home. Everybody thought he was dead, but he's not, so everybody's happy. Obadiah Stane, who's his business partner, was running the business while he was gone, was, trying to push the weapon, continue selling weapons, but Tony Stark didn't want to sell weapons anymore after what he saw happen in the Middle East. He kind of had a change of heart.
So I wasn't wrong there.
Yeah. Because of that, he starts running around as Iron Man, being, a superhero in some ways, and he creates different suits trying to make it better, improve on it so it works for him. During this time, you find out that Obadiah Stane was in cahoots with the people that hit the convoy in the Middle East because they were trying to kill Tony Stark, and he was trying to kill him, and they obviously failed, and Obadiah Stane was upset about it. Mm-hmm. But what he decides to do is steal the original Iron Man suit design and create one for himself, creating the Ironmonger. He then creates the suit, which is a lot larger than the Iron Man suit, and Tony wants to use the arc reactor. They've built a large arc reactor. He wants to use that arc reactor to help power, he wants to get an energy. He wants to get out of weapons and into energy, and Obadiah Stane doesn't want to. He wants to use the arc reactor for weapons and stuff like that. And then there's a big fight scene that happens between the two of them at the end of the movie. He beats Obadiah Stane and kills him, as I believe he falls into their arc reactor that they built. I could be wrong on that. I'm sorry.
So he gets the Phasma treatment, basically?
Basically.
Spoiler.
And then at the end of the movie, everybody's talking about Iron Man, and who's Iron Man? Who's Iron Man? And Tony Stark's like, I am Iron Man.
I am the Knight.
So
I am
that's
the
Iron
Iron
Man 1. So you weren't too far off.
Okay.
And honestly, I know people who are listening are probably like, that's not how Iron Man went. Look, I didn't hit every single beat, and I'm sure I missed a couple things here or there. I was incorrect slightly on things. I'm sorry. If you want to correct me, go right ahead, correct me. But I hit the main points. That's all that
you got the general gist of the
exactly.
movie.
So
here we go.
So this one should be a little funny. So out on June 13th, 2008, not even...
Yeah, that's really short.
Yeah, it's like a month, not even a month and a half later.
This was before they
really
got
it. It was a month and a half later.
They didn't really get the grip of the whole movie thing.
Yeah. The Incredible Hulk comes out, starring not Mark Ruffalo, but Edward Norton as Bruce Banner and the Incredible Hulk.
Never seen this movie before in my life, so this is going to be great. I do know how Bruce Banner became the Hulk, forewarning, but I'm not going to get it right on purpose.
Well, I will tell you this right now: he doesn't have the
himself.
Accident in this movie. He's already
okay, okay. So it's not explained whatsoever.
Not in that movie.
Okay.
I mean, they explain it like
it's a flashback.
But there's nothing like it's not a story point.
Okay. So, there went my 1 point I was going to hit. Okay, so it starts off with, what's his face? Not
Bruce Banner?
Yeah, the guy who plays him.
Edward Norton.
Yeah, so starts off with him running through the streets, and Mark Ruffalo punches him in the fucking face because he's the better Hulk. So...
I don't really think that's what happened, but go ahead.
So then he turns into the Hulk, but he's like, Hulk angry. So Hulk goes on a rampage. Fuck shit up because he doesn't really understand his powers yet. Am I in the ballpark?
You're in the ballpark.
Okay. I don't know who the villain is, so I'm gonna name him Tafgar, the barbarian.
Mm-hmm.
And he has unfuckwittable tattooed across his chest. And they are catching hands with each other. They're just like, Hulk's punch him in the face, and Tafgar's like, haha, and punches Hulk in the face, and he's like, roar, and they just keep punching each other in the face for 45 minutes. And then, Hulk gets thrown over something, and Hulk beats the shit out of him. Then he turns into a Hulk, and it gets crazy.
Okay, so there's a couple different villains in this movie. I had to look up just to make sure I got the names right here. So you have Emil Blonsky. He's a military guy. He's somebody who is kind of under Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, who's a general. And he's kind of... Those two are trying to hunt down the Hulk and Bruce Banner and kill him, get rid of him, put an end to him, because they feel that he's a threat to the United States. Thaddeus Ross's daughter is Betty Ross, played by Liv Tyler, and she is actually Bruce's girlfriend. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a whole big old clusterfuck of love there.
Exactly.
There's a love square.
So the whole driving force of this movie, because I'm not going to let you continue because you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Hold on. So that square of love right there, Bruce Banner's in love with Liv Tyler's father, but she's secretly having an affair with the other guy.
Okay.
It's super hot.
So the whole driving force of this movie...
Yeah, no, that one lasted 5 minutes.
Yeah,
you didn't even let me try.
Yeah, it got kind of bad.
Yeah, well, I told you I never watched the movie before.
The whole driving force of the movie is the idea that Bruce Banner wants to fix himself. He doesn't want to have this Hulk in him anymore. He just wants to be Bruce Banner again, and that's kind of the whole idea behind it. He's starting to control, he understands that controlling his heart rate, not getting angry, is what keeps him from becoming the Hulk. But he still doesn't have complete control over everything.
But when Mark Ruffalo punched him in the face, it really set him off. And he became the Hulk.
So you have Thaddeus Ross, who is hunting him down, and then you have Emil Blonsky, played by Tim Roth, by the way, excellently played by Tim Roth. He's also trying to hunt him down and kill him, and he's finding that he's not going to be able to do it on his own. So what he wants to do is he wants to utilize a similar procedure that happened to Bruce Banner, not exactly, but they find a scientist, and he and Thaddeus decide to inject him with serum.
I think you mean Thickius.
They inject him with serum that is hoping to make him like a super soldier, and he does. He becomes like a super soldier almost, and he's actually he starts to get an upper hand on the Hulk for a little bit, but he's still just not strong enough yet. So I believe he actually does die, but they inject him with serum again, but this time he becomes like a Hulk type of figure called the Abomination. Now, this one I'm probably wrong on some of these aspects. I apologize, but again, it is what it is. So
it's been 10 years.
Yeah, he becomes the Abomination, and he and Hulk fight in the streets of
Tokyo,
Brooklyn.
Why is New York always
so? It's in
up?
The streets of Brooklyn, I believe, and or maybe Harlem. It's either Brooklyn or Harlem.
It's still New York.
But they fight, and the Hulk ends up defeating him, and that's pretty much it. That's Incredible Hulk. He continues being the Hulk. He runs away, doesn't get captured. Betty Ross is never to be seen again. We then see Bruce Banner as Mark Ruffalo.
Bruce Banner completely body
morphs.
Completely body morphs.
Yeah, completely body morphs. Interesting note that I completely forgot about this. David Duchovny was the front runner to play Bruce Banner, which I think would have been excellent. I would have loved to have seen him. I
still like my Iron Man. That one's canon.
But that's that. That is the Avengers recap by Colton Bird, which wasn't great.
I am sorry, I suck.
So next week we will be doing, I believe, Iron Man 2 is the next movie.
Well, next week's going to be another disappointment.
No. See, now at this point you have to watch Iron Man 2 and then retell it. So it should be a little bit better.
We'll just go over and read the synopsis on Wikipedia.
Yeah, so that's Iron Man 2. And then we'll go from there going forward. All right, that was fun.
Bob, and when Halloween rolls around, I'm just going to hit you with a whole bunch of horror films now.
I'm down with that.
But I'm not telling you.
Okay.
You're not going to remember this.
I'm just going to start watching like 10 horror films a day from here until Halloween. So whenever you try to get me, like, gotcha!
Be like, good luck. I'll pull one like out of 1920s, just like clean out of my ass. Be like, okay.
Dude, I saw those when they were first running the theaters.
Yeah, I know. Because you're Jebediah Jesus.
Jebediah Jesus. The Last Jedi, and Star Wars stuff. Last Jedi has earned $1.2 billion worldwide, making it the 13th highest grossing movie of all
Somehow
time.
Still a disappointment.
Yeah, people still think it's a disappointment. With that, Star Wars The Last Jedi is rumored to hit Blu-ray, 4K, and whatnot on March 27th. And honestly, that's no surprise because the other two, Rogue One and Force Awakens, all hit the beginning of April, when they came out. So, and the what am I thinking? The digital download, I think, was a week before anyway. So it'll probably, I'll say March 27th is probably going to be the digital, and then like a week later it'll be.
But what's crazy
Blu-ray
is like
stuff.
Justice League took forever to go to DVD and everything like that.
No, it's literally 3 weeks before, or 2 weeks before, or 2 or 3 weeks before, just like it came out in. Oh God.
You're so full of shit.
So, Interesting news. Episode 8.5 is on the way.
Yeah, you put that in the group. Isn't it a book?
Yeah, basically, it seems like there's talk, there's jump. Rumor that because of all of the backlash that episode 8 has gotten, they are actually writing a book that is going to take place like immediately after episode 8 or something like that, and that's going to explain a lot of the questions that people have, which I think is complete bullshit if you ask me, because there aren't that many questions that need answered. Yes, there are questions that need answered, but everybody's asking and complaining about the wrong ones.
Yeah, like...
who's Snoke? Well, I can tell you right now, it doesn't fucking matter who Snoke is.
He's fucking dead.
Not only is he dead, but all that ever mattered with Snoke is who he was to Kylo Ren. That is all that mattered for the story. Just because you little fanboys want to bitch and cry and moan that you didn't find out who Snoke was and that he isn't Darth Plagueis or, Palpatine Reborn or whatever, you're all upset about that.
And your mother touches herself at night because I fuck her every day,
because,
but whatever.
Just because of that shit doesn't mean that we have to find out who he was right now. I wouldn't care if in 5-10 years we get a book about him. Cool. But right now, for the story that's being told, it didn't matter who he was.
He was a stepping stone for the Sith Order, basically.
Not even dark side. Dark side. I mean, it's
master and apprentice. Apprentice always kills the master. Now Kylo's the master. Boom. There it's fucking explained.
Exactly. That's all we freaking needed. That's all we needed.
Wait, it's not canon. He used the Force lightning before Episode 6, or Episode 9. Not canon. Because that's how the original trilogy worked. It's not canon.
Yeah.
Not canon at all.
Look, I don't know. I'm getting so sick of defending this movie, a movie that doesn't need defending because it gives you all the information that you need at the time.
Wait till Star Wars talk this month. That'll be the last defending of this film I'm going to do.
It's after
ridiculous. That I'm done defending because I'm going to break down U.S. or credits. I want to say credits to U.S. dollars. We're going to find out the dollar amount for suicide bombers. We're going to be like, okay, how you rationalize Carrie Fisher's scene.
Yeah. That
could be a thing. Force projection. That's the evolution of the Force. Like, I'm just going to go into detail. It's going to be a 3-hour episode. I'm sorry.
But, I mean, again, there's everything makes sense. And the things that don't make sense are things like you said, the Force projection, like you were saying there. The problem with that is just because we haven't seen it before.
Doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Doesn't mean that it didn't exist. You know?
There's so much shit that they probably pulled from the EU.
Exactly.
And made it canon.
And it was. The Force projection was an EU thing.
And everybody wants that.
And everybody wants the EU, but no, that's stupid.
Yeah. Okay.
Or the fact that, how does a ship drop bombs in outer space? Okay, first off, let me before I hit the most obvious thing of saying, I'm going to say it, so I'm going to hit it. The most obvious thing is, look at Empire Strikes Back. TIE bombers flying over asteroids dropping bombs. That's the Empire Strikes Back. That happens. Nobody had a problem with that. You have Y-Wings used by the Rebels in the original trilogy who can drop bombs, who did it in books and video games in the EU. It happened, and people love that stuff. Oh, that's no problem. That's okay. But the bombs that they drop in The Last Jedi, because it's a different ship and it's moving really slow and it doesn't make sense to me.
Like bombers should.
I'm so confused. I don't understand. It's stupid. That's what happens. But here's the thing that gets me, all right? So, they're mad. Bombs can't drop in space. Hey, you want to know something else? Explosions can't happen in space either. And that's happened in every single Star Wars movie up to this point.
Oxygen isn't in space.
So, why haven't you bitched about that? Like, that's the thing. Like, people are nitpicking at things that don't need nitpicked.
Or we'll ignore the fact that forward momentum is a law of gravity.
Yeah.
Like, emotion, or an object in motion will stay in motion until an opposite, or something. You know what I'm trying to say. Easily explained. They could have been easily just propelled a little bit.
Yeah.
And space would carry the rest.
Exactly.
Like, boom. Oh, holy shit. A foreign concept. Holy fuck.
Oh, no.
Man, Bob, I know I blew your fucking mind. Let's get a towel. Clean it up off the fucking wall.
I'm so sick of defending this movie, and it's just, I mean...
It's because the fucking world's become a bunch of dipshits and retards.
Exactly. And look...
Sorry for using the R word, but it's true.
And here's the thing. Like, I want people to listen to our show, but... I want people to understand that, because you didn't like the movie doesn't mean that you have to try and ruin it for everybody else.
Yeah, you don't have to go make bot accounts and ruin it on Rotten Tomatoes.
You don't have to sit there and try and poke holes in something that you didn't enjoy. Again, yes, I can sit there and you can yell at me because, you did that with Civil War, Bob. I did, but the reason why that started is because people were trying to poke holes in Batman vs. Superman, and they were all saying that Civil War was drastically better than Batman vs. Superman. Yeah. So I had to go and say, look, if you want to compare the two, let's compare the two, and that's what I did. When you look at The Last Jedi, there's nothing to compare it to. You know, it's a Star Wars movie.
All you can compare it to is literally
other Star Wars movies.
Prequel trilogy, the original trilogy, Episode 7, Rogue One.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, it fits perfectly. You know, there's nothing that doesn't fit within the Star Wars universe in that movie. And it expands on a lot and really opens the world up so much more than we've ever had it open before in previous movies, which is exciting because we're going to get so many other Star Wars movies because of stuff that we've learned in this one.
Let the past die. Kill it if you must.
Yeah, I agree.
Which they literally did in Last Jedi.
and they do, you know. I think the only complaint that I do agree with is there's a lot of negating of Episode 7 in this movie. You know, there's a lot of stuff that they're like, this didn't matter in Episode 7.
Yeah.
But, again, it is what it is.
They're two different director things.
Two different directors, two different writers, you know, like that's what happens with that. And my biggest complaint with Lucasfilm thus far has been that I think they need to sit down and say, all right, here's the overarching story for a trilogy. We want to get from here to here. You need to hit these points here, 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 and here. All right, writers, do it.
Yeah, get a group of like 4 or 5 people.
I mean, they had the Lucasfilm story group. I don't know why they didn't do that. It's just bizarre to me.
They're probably splitting it up like, okay, you guys do this while we work on Rebels, and then we work on something else that we don't know about, or something like that. That's the only way I could think of it.
I mean, that's pretty much what it is, I think.
But, like, you just sit everybody down. You could churn out a movie in, like, 20 minutes with 30 people.
So here's a question, you know, being our local Star Wars guy here. So with all this hate, all right?
Yes.
Would you be against Lucasfilms changing up the formula a little bit? And let's just say, because we're so used to what George Lucas did. He did a prequel trilogy, or he did the original trilogy, and then he did a prequel trilogy. 3 movies, 6 movies total. Would you be against them saying, you know what, we're going to get away from the trilogy aspect and idea of our storytelling like George Lucas did. We're going to do 4 movies. We're going to do 5. Or, you know, we're going to do 6. This whole storyline is going to take 6 movies instead of 3 to tell. Would you be against that?
No.
So we're getting, you know, because
I feel like this trilogy already needs to be at least 4 movies.
That's my point. You know, like, I'm feeling like, man, you know, we got a lot in The Last Shot. There was a lot. While the story, like, the time-wise, it didn't move forward far.
But characters and the story as itself.
Like, there was a lot to take in there. And, like, I want to see more. Like, I just want to see more of these characters. I really enjoy Rey and
Kylo came miles.
And Miles. And Kylo, I mean, he's one of my favorite characters in Star Wars right now. I would love to see more of him, and I would hate to see it end after 3 movies.
It's like Finn. Let's do something with Finn.
Exactly. So, I mean, I personally would not be against it. They were like, you know what, we're going to get away from the trilogy idea.
And we're gonna make films,
and we're just gonna make movies. You know,
number them.
So
they all
we're gonna number, you know, because it's the saga films.
Yeah.
So we're gonna number them, but just because you have 7, 8, and 9 doesn't mean that whole story is wrapped up right there, like it was in the original trilogy or prequel. No, you have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That finishes that storyline.
Yeah.
But we're gonna then continue. You know, 13, 14, 15.
13, you know, doesn't necessarily have to be those characters. Could be like
it could then change. It could then jump a little bit. You know, but to me, like, I would be okay with that. Maybe I'm just being selfish because I just want to see more Star Wars as much as possible.
No, because the way Episode 8 ended, they basically have to build up 2 armies again, and that's going to be like if they can't hop that much time in between films.
I mean,
there's like 40.
They can jump 10 years. 10 years, I think, is a comfortable amount to jump because they did that with Episode 1, Episode 2. Like, I can understand that. Like, that I would be fine with. Especially if you believe the ring theory, that would actually fit because it would be the reverse of that, you know? So,
but like, you can't be like, okay, 20 years and everybody has these big old armies and we're watching Episodes 2 again.
Yeah.
You know, like, you can't do that.
I mean, I that's why I want to see more. Like, I would love to see, if they were just like, look, you know, Episode 9 will not be the end of these characters. We're going to get Episode 10 as well.
Well, the only downside is Daisy Ridley's not returning after Episode 9.
That's talk. You know that's talk. You know she's saying that just because she has to. She can't give away anything. So even if they've already thought, like, hey, you know, we're going to do, like, they may have already sat down with Daisy Ridley and said, hey, Daisy Ridley,
You're hot.
Hey, after episode 9, we do want to do 10, 11, and 12, but we're going to wait, 5 years until we do it. They can't, if they've already told her that, she can't go out and say, oh, I'll be back for episode 10, because they may want to say, you know what, 9 is it, we're not going to do anything else, and then 3-4 years later, like, so we decided to come back to episode 10, and people are going to be like, holy shit, all right, and it's going to be episode 7 all over again.
Yeah.
And that's what they want. So even if they've told Daisy Ridley, hey,
you're probably not coming back.
No, they probably told her, you're going to be in episode 10, but you can't tell anybody.
Yeah.
So that's why
we're not filming it anytime soon.
And that's probably why she was like, yeah, I'm done after episode 9.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
And then, yeah. So, speaking of all this stuff right now, I'm going to credit Ryan Hill in Star Wars Discussion Room. It's a group on Facebook. He had a very interesting thing about episode 9. His predictions for episode 9 are, 1, it's going to be a 3 to 4 year time jump. 2, Rey and Poe will already be an established couple. 3, Leia has passed away between films. I think that one's pretty much the only given at this point.
Unless they recast.
Which
I'm okay with, but that's me.
Hux dies.
I don't like that idea.
Finn dies.
That I can take it or leave it.
Knights of Ren are involved specifically in the final battle.
I like that idea, but
they have to be explained at the beginning.
Yeah.
Rey and Kylo have a final confrontation, but it's not the final confrontation of the film. Rey refuses to kill him. Oh shit! Okay, I'm on number 8. Force ghosts like Luke, Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Yoda will have a pivotal role. They help Rey take on the Knights of Ren.
I don't understand how they would be able to help take on the Knights of Ren.
Well, it doesn't. He doesn't really.
Yeah.
He doesn't go into detail. My guess would be like training, maybe.
Maybe.
And like, because I would imagine one would be hunting, or like they'd all split up and hunt her down. That would be my guess. 9. Anakin and Kylo is the final confrontation. Ben isn't redeemed, but he decides to leave the First Order behind. I wouldn't like that one, especially with the way Episode 8 ended.
Yeah.
The Jedi Order is rebuilt by Rey with the help of the past Jedi before they disappear to the Netherworld forever. Because that's not even canon, but whatever. Ben Swallow decides to live on his own on Tatooine, keeping the balance of the universe alive.
I would not mind seeing it end on Tatooine.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Ben. I don't know how I would want to see it end, but I would not mind seeing the movie end on Tatooine. Or even if because I know there's been a lot of talk that Episode 9 is going to be the final, finale of the saga series or
Hopefully
whatever.
not.
Hopefully not.
It probably won't
but
be.
if they were to end it, that would be a way to end it, is on Tatooine, in my opinion. But there's a lot of cool things there that you said, because I think that a time jump is going to happen 3-4 years. Understandable. I like that. What I think would be
back up. I don't remember.
What I think would be really, really badass is the Knights of Ren aspect. Is early on in the movie you see Kylo Ren being the Supreme Leader. He is the Supreme Leader in a throne room. It's him, and you don't have the Praetorian Guards. You have the Knights of Ren there.
I like that.
Like that's who he has there.
And it has been confirmed in Episode 8 they are Force users. So
and the cool thing that he could then do is he could send them out looking for Rey, and you can have a scene where she confronts one or two of them, and she takes them on and she defeats them. Like that would then show that her power and her strength and her abilities have grown and have escalated, which I think would be excellent to do. That would be I like picturing it in my head. I'm just like, oh, that would be so badass to watch. So that would be
badass as that Praetorian Guard scene.
Come on, dude, that is so
that's
badass.
The best.
Look, I posted in the group last night, and I've said this in Star Wars groups too. People get so mad when I say this, but it literally is one of the top 3 fights in Star Wars history. It is. Look,
number 1's Anakin and Obi-Wan.
See,
Episode 3.
I agree. Anakin and Obi-Wan, Episode 3 is number 1. My number 2 is Luke versus Vader and Return of the Jedi. That's my number 2.
I go Empire.
I think that there's more emotion in Return of the Jedi because
higher stakes,
and there's so much more and that's why I go with Obi-Wan and Anakin as number 1, because the emotion
that is up here. That is the high ground.
But the emotion and everything like that, while Empire's fight is good, it's one moment. There's one moment that puts that above, that would put that above other stuff, and that's the I am your father.
Yeah.
Whereas you take a look at Return of the Jedi, that whole thing, from the moment that Palpatine's like, take your weapon, strike me down with all of your hatred, and your journey to the dark side will be complete. And that moment when he turns and grabs his lightsaber, from that point until the moment he beats Vader, Vader is laying there and Luke looks at his hand, that is pure emotion from start to finish there of Luke towing the dark side, you know, almost falling to Palpatine and failing.
Following in his
father's footsteps, you know, like that is what happens there. You know, that is why it's so emotional. Whereas Empire, while it's good, Luke wasn't trained. You know, that whole thing hinges on the "I am your father." You can then look at, you know, Episode 4 with you know, Obi-Wan and Vader, and that's an emotional scene, but at the time, and I'm looking at the time of watching it, so the time you watch Episode 4, all you know is, okay, Obi-Wan trained Vader.
Yeah, he's a space wizard.
A space wizard who trained this other space wizard.
who trained Hitler, space Hitler.
Exactly. So, you know, while there's a little bit of emotion, there's really not much. You take a look at Episode 2, and you know the battle with Yoda and Dooku, or Anakin and Dooku. That was fan favor. Exactly. That was like, hey, look, finally somebody using 2 lightsabers to fight. I was like, that's badass. And then finally Yoda, you're like, oh shit, it's Yoda.
Yeah, that was nothing but fan favor.
Exactly. You know, so Episode 2 is out of it. You know, episode 7. You have Episode 7, which I think is a good lightsaber battle, a lot better than what people give it credit for.
Yeah,
it is good, and there's a lot of emotion again, and that's where I stick. I go to the emotional side of it, like what is driving these characters in this moment, because I think that's what makes the moment better.
See, I don't think anybody likes that one because it's not the whole flips and choreographed.
It was very original trilogy like.
Yeah, it was the barbarian style, slam into each other as hard as you can, hopefully catch someone off guard.
Exactly. And you know, I think it's good. I personally would probably put that up at number 4. I would actually put that above the next one, which is Duel of the Fates, Darth Maul. Now, what is great about that one is the music. The music is fantastic for that.
Oh my god, it is.
And that just gets your blood going, and you're like, yeah, Duel of the Fates.
And then Obi-Wan gets his ass kicked all of that match.
But the problem with that lightsaber battle, and yes, the first few times when I was a kid, when I was 13 years old watching that movie,
oh my god, badass,
it was amazing, and I just rewound my VHS and watched it over and over again when it came out on video. But the problem with it is it doesn't hold up. The choreography is horrible. Not only that, but you know the moment where they're going through the shields, it makes no fucking sense. The shields make no sense. They should all open at the same time every time and close at the same time. But there's a moment where the front one's open first, then the back one's open first, and then the back one's open first, and then the front one's open first, and then the back one's open first. You're like, there's no rhyme or reason to this. It makes no sense.
And we're like, it doesn't really even have any story significance other than there's a Sith.
Explain that there's a Sith. I mean, there's the emotional side of Obi-Wan losing his mentor, his master. But again,
other than that,
there wasn't a build up to Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, because honestly, for half the movie, they're not even together.
Yeah, it's
so there's a lot of give and take. It's a fun fight scene. It's cool.
It was good for Episode 1.
Ray Park is an amazing martial artist, so it was cool seeing him getting to do all the flips, and that's the first time we saw the crazy acrobatic type of lightsaber fighting. But again, it's number 5 for me, but it just cracks number 5 out of all 8 battles that we've gotten. But I go
crazy how you set up 8 battles there.
Yeah. But I sit there and I say, and honestly, if you really want to get into it, I would move down Darth Maul, throw in Vader and Rogue One.
I wouldn't say it's a lightsaber duel. I'd give it a lightsaber
It's not a
scene.
lightsaber duel. I'm not, and that's the thing. That's what people don't understand is duels. Like, okay, if you want to get to duels, there's one thing, but it's not about the duel. It's about
the significance of
the significance of the battle.
I'd give you that. I'd move it down.
And I mean,
that's just solidified how much fear Darth Vader had in the universe.
Exactly.
And then it explains why everybody's like freaking out in Episode 4.
Exactly. But I mean, like I said, I think mine goes, Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi, and then Episode 8. Praetorian Guard fight, because that was first off, it caught you completely off guard.
Yeah, like you did not. Well, a spoiler here. It doesn't. It like you don't see it even Snoke dying at that point.
Yeah, at that point, like I had no idea that Snoke was gonna die.
Like it just smacks you in the face. So right there, Snoke loses his arm. Someone gets their hand chopped off.
There you go.
There you
go. So so Snoke dying, which is crazy, but the moment where she gets the lightsaber in her hand and she ignites it. His is ignited at that time, and they literally look at each other, and then they turn around and they're back to back fighting.
Yeah.
Like, you get chills.
Yeah, and they're like literally playing off of each other.
Exactly.
Like Ray jumps on his back and he hunches over.
Exactly. Like, it's fantastic. And then Kylo, like, you see how much of a badass he is with his lightsaber, because he's taken on two of them at a time with no problem. Rey's over there struggling with two of them at a time, you know?
Yeah.
So you can see, okay, yes, she's not as skilled as he is. Like,
But she's still damn good swordsman.
but yeah, she's still a good swordsman. She's still a good fighter, but not quite as good as he is, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just something that, it was so good. It was just an amazing thing. And, you know, I would be willing to put Kylo versus Luke in the top 10 or top 9 or whatever as well, because while no sabers clash, there was no real fight.
The significance
of it was very big,
emotional as hell,
and it was a mental fight.
Yeah,
you know, there was a fight going on mentally between the two of them. You know, and Luke was breaking Kylo there. Like that was what he was doing. He was breaking Kylo. He's like,
you think you're badass, but I'm still stronger than you.
Yeah, like just cut it out, kid. You know, like. Just cut it out, you know?
I still like they kind of hint to Luke dying, though. Remember when, the Force Snoke bridges the two minds of Rey and Kylo for the first time.
Yeah.
And Rey shoots out of first instinct and Kylo feels it.
Yeah.
The moment you see Kylo swipe through Luke, I was like, he's going to die.
Oh.
I was like, right there, he's dead.
See, I still don't think that is why he died.
I mean, exhaustion.
I think it was one, exhaustion,
and
but
he finally came to peace with what he's done in his life.
I look at it as Obi-Wan's death in A New Hope, because he allowed the Force. Obi-Wan realized at that moment that he didn't need to be there anymore, that he could become one with the Force, and that he would be able and stronger to lead Luke and help Luke becoming one with the Force, and he would be alive.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel that was kind of what happened to Luke when he came out of it and he realized what he would have been up against with Kylo. He realized at that moment that Rey is the one who's going to be able to defeat Kylo, and the best way to do that is to become as strong as he can possibly be, and becoming one with the Force is that. And it's when he's sitting there and he sees the twin sons, you see that look, and you know, yes, part of it is like, I'm a child again, like I'm at home again, but he's at peace and he understands, like he finally understands what he's supposed to do, which is what Yoda was trying to tell him.
Yeah.
You know, earlier on in the movie, like,
don't think in the now.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You know, you got to use what you know and what you've learned, whether it's good or bad, to help train Rey, to help train these new people. You know, you're so afraid of teaching them because you failed. Teach them about your failures so they don't do it.
Failure is your greatest teacher.
So, you know, like that's so good. So that's why I would put, you know, the Kylo fight against Luke there, because there was so much.
It was so much more of a bigger picture.
It's such a big picture, and again, it wasn't lightsaber fighting. There was no even, you know, there's no fists going or anything really, but it was a mental battle between the two, which I thought was excellent, because he really broke Kylo. Kylo was pissed. He was like, "What the hell?"
He's like, "Son of a bitch."
So, and the First Order saw that happen too. Like they saw him get broken. You know, their supreme leader gets broken in front of everybody. You know, which I thought was awesome.
So you don't like Hux dying?
No, Hux. I like Hux a lot, and I
like his character.
I love the concept between and the idea of he and Kylo playing off of each other like that. You know, it started in The Force Awakens, that, like, you know, sibling rivalry, you know, in a way, and then this movie, like in The Last Jedi, there's that moment where Kylo is still knocked out on the floor after the fight.
Yeah,
or not the fight, but after he and Rey, you know, were using the Force to try and get Luke's saber, and
Anakin's,
Rey's, and
technically no one's right now.
Yeah, broken lightsaber now, but
he goes for his blaster.
Yeah, Hux goes for his blaster to kill Kylo. He's like, this is my chance to kill him, and I can become the supreme leader. And, you know, he thinks that, and then Kylo just happens to wake up at that time, and he's like, shit, and he, like, you know, hurries, like, so it doesn't look like he was doing anything. Yeah, so what happened? You know, and that's like, build on that. And then there's a scene, you know, when they're in the ship right on Crate, and they're in the ship, and, you know, he force pushes Hux into the control panel. It's like, all right, like I want to see
Yeah.
more of that, like it's funny, it's it's a little
Yeah.
humor, but that Hux is going to get him back in some way. I feel that I could see, and I think it would be cool if Hux is the reason why Kylo gets defeated at some point. Not the sole reason,
Yeah,
but
he's
he
a
plays a
contributing factor.
role in it happening. Like, like Kylo needs the Knights of Ren to come back him up, and he calls to Hux, like, Hux, I need you to, send the Knights, and he doesn't, or something like
Yeah,
that.
like Lost in Translation.
That's a bad example, but something
Yeah.
like that, So, yeah, I like Hux a lot. I think he's a cool character, and the relationship between he and Kylo, I think, is important for the continuation of the story.
Finn dying.
Finn dying, again, I could take it or leave it. I don't really care about Finn that much. I think that
He's just a pointless side character.
he really is. I mean, in The Force Awakens, I enjoyed his character because, it was cool to see somebody defect from the First Order.
Yeah, he had actually a little bit of a meaning.
And what was nice about it is, seeing the relationship between Finn and Rey develop a little bit in The Force Awakens. Because I wouldn't have minded seeing Finn and Rey develop a relationship. Like, I mean, I would not have minded to see that at all. It would have been something that would pull Rey or push Rey to the dark side more, to the light, or whatever. Like, it could have been a driving factor similar to Anakin. I would have been okay with that. But you can tell now with the introduction of Rose and everything like that, that's not the way they're going to go.
Yeah,
and again, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't bother me. But again, I just don't think that. What else can he do?
Yeah, nothing. He's a foot soldier.
And he's
all he
barely
is.
a foot soldier.
Yeah.
So again, if they do a time jump of 3 or 4 years, we may find out that he's a general in the new rebellion.
On completely on accident.
And
He's been trying to leave for 2 movies.
Yeah, but he's now a general of the rebellion, and he and Rose are a couple, and maybe they have a kid. Who knows? Like, they can do a lot of different things.
4 years is a long time.
They can do a lot of different things that make him interesting. So that's why I say I could take it or leave it, because if they get rid of him, if they find a way to get rid of him, whatever. If they find a way to make him interesting and push it forward, his story forward, and help drive the story,
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Okay. So I don't know how you feel about the Knights of Ren being in the final.
God, I would love to see. I just want to see the Knights of Ren.
How about Rey and Kylo's final confrontation? But it not being the final confrontation of the film.
Here's the thing: the final confrontation of the film are going to be the two of them.
Well, yeah, that's
what's going to happen. Yeah. It's that simple. There's not going to be an Anakin and Kylo final confrontation.
So hold on. Okay, number 9. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind, sorry.
It's going to be Rey and Kylo in some form or fashion.
Ben Swallow, I think you mean.
Ben Swallow. Now, the way I look at it is like this: Kylo is gone. Or I'm not sorry. Ben Solo is gone. He's only Kylo Ren at this point. There's no redeeming anymore. There should be no question. Will he be redeemed? Can he be redeemed?
He's evil.
He's gone. I mean, it is what it is. He's gone. He's not coming back. He says it himself. Put away the past. Kill it if you have to.
And he's basically done that.
And he does that. He tries to kill Luke. He killed his father, who was his father figure. Luke was his second father figure, who betrayed him. He tried to kill him. Snoke was his third father figure, who was complete asshole to him, and he kills him. That's what people need to understand about Kylo is it's these father figures, these parent figures are the ones that created Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
It was Han Solo being a disappointment. He says that in The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
You look at Han Solo as a father figure, don't worry, you'll be disappointed. He says it. He was disappointed in how his father was. So Leia and Han, they struggled with Ben, so they sent him to Luke and hoping Luke can help mend this and heal this and train him into being a Jedi.
Yeah.
But Luke failed him.
Yeah.
Luke tried to kill him. He saw darkness in him and had a moment of weakness, and that sent Ben to Snoke. Yep. And Snoke now wants to utilize Ben, and Han Solo says it in The Force Awakens, that Snoke is using you, and once he gets what you want, you will be gone. And that was the whole plan. Snoke was trying to use Kylo to get Rey, and he was hoping that Rey would take his place. He was hoping that Rey would take Kylo's place because she is stronger than him, but she was more headstrong and wouldn't do it. But the problem is that connection that Kylo and Rey developed, he started believing, like all Sith Lords or all dark beings do, that, you know what? if she's this powerful, her and I can take Snoke out and rule this galaxy together. You know, like, why don't we do that? And he started falling for her in a way. I really believe that he's falling for her, not just on a level of admiration for her power, but on an emotional level as well.
Yeah, because she hasn't disappointed him yet.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like, she tells him how it is. She tells him how she feels and stuff like that. Like, that's something that he's not had before. You know, everybody always puts him down, and you know, she started putting him down. You know, in those connection, those moments that they were having. Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? And he's like, what did I do? Say what I did. You know, and she's like, killed Han Solo, and he's like, you wouldn't understand. Like, I had to. Yeah. You know, and she starts to understand him. He opens up to her. She opens up to him, and they start understanding. And there's that moment in the hut on Octu where they're sitting there talking, and they touch, and like that moment, like that's where like Rey is like, I feel the connection. I feel that there's good in him. And he on the other side, like, I feel the conflict. I see where she's confused and needs, you know, so like there's all of that. He believes, just like in real life, like, people don't get it in real life. There are people that are attracted to, you know, women or men who are damaged, who have problems in their life. And they feel that they can help that person. They fall in love with that person because of their damage and because they believe that they can be there. Exactly. And this is what's happening here. You know, there's a lot of parallels to real life. So I think that this final confrontation that we will see, there's going to be no redeeming of Kylo. There's not. I think that Rey, I would look. I hate saying this term. I would love to ship the two of them. I really would. I would love to, because I think that they have great chemistry, and I think that they can create some powerful Force children. And I still want to see the Skywalker family,
them Force babies,
continue. Like, I don't want the Skywalker family to end.
They've been literally the center of the galaxy for years.
I think it would be cool if this final conflict, there's a moment where both of them, you know, they come to terms with each other in a way. And, you know, Rey's motivation is to save Kylo, to redeem him. Kylo's motivation is to bring Rey to the dark side. Okay? Now, because of that, Kylo will utilize that thought of Rey's thought of bringing him to the good. He will use that against her, and he will manipulate her and make her believe that he has been redeemed, that he is good. Yeah. And I think in that time they will ship. I think that there's a chance that we will see a relationship between the two of them. I think that she gets pregnant, she will have a kid, something like that, you know, but we won't see it in this movie, but they will get down and dirty. I think she will get pregnant. Then,
hence why you need an episode 10.
Exactly. But I think that they will then end up fighting, and she will either have to kill him or something. Like, he is going to be done. He will be gone and dead. But I think there will be that question at the end of this trilogy that is there going to be another Skywalker? And there will be a possibility for another Skywalker coming out of it. I just think there will be.
Could be another Anakin.
No. I think that she's going to... I truly believe she's going to get pregnant. I really believe she will be pregnant by Kylo Ren. I do. I think it's going to happen. I think it has to. You just tied up a trilogy there. I did. So, but I think it would be excellent. What else is there?
Force Ghosts, Luke, Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Yoda.
I said that we're going to see Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Yoda in the Last Jedi. We didn't. We saw Yoda, which was awesome. Love seeing Yoda.
No, it was cool.
At this point, there's no reason to see any of them, except for Anakin. Anakin, we might be able to see, but Luke, we will see. We'll see Luke with Rey. We will see Luke with Rey. But Obi-Wan and Yoda, they're done. We will never see Obi-Wan and Yoda in a Force Ghost at all in another movie. Why, you ask? Because the only connection that they really had
was with Luke.
Mm-hmm. You know, like, they don't know Rey. Rey doesn't know them. There's no reason. Yeah. Okay. With that, though, Anakin could show up because of Kylo, but I think that's a long shot. I don't really think that's going to happen. I think really the only person we will see is Luke with Rey.
Okay, makes sense. I'm going to skip 9. Jedi Order is rebuilt by Rey with help of the past Jedi before they disappear into the Netherworld forever.
Yeah, that... I
think Netherworld doesn't exist. Just rule that out.
I think what will happen is I think Rey is going to be the Luke. She will be the one to start up another Jedi, academy or, whatever, temple, whatever it is.
Hopefully they don't do like another defective thing where, one left.
Yeah, but I think that, I think that's going to... I'm telling you, it's the movie's going to end something like this. We're we're going to see her setting up. Think of like Revenge of the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
Think of Revenge of the Sith a little bit. You know,
where you get like a semi-built Death Star.
Exactly. I think you're going to see something similar to that with Rey watching a Jedi temple being built, or something like that. Maybe kids running around,
or you see a shadow.
But there's been a lot of talk. Like somebody had a really cool theory that the end of Revenge of the Sith. What if that was like a 3-year time jump? You know, the end of Revenge of the Sith, because the Death Star is kind of not far along, but you know, it's
there.
It's, you know, farther along than what you would think they would be able to do within a couple, you know, months.
Yeah.
You know, essentially.
I can see that.
So
I wouldn't picture that you can make Vader in a day or so.
So imagine the movie ending like this. Imagine it ending like this. So Rey standing there, you know, watching finishing touches of a temple being built. Mm-hmm. You see a little kid run past, and she goes, "Ben, get back here." Ends.
I wouldn't like Ben.
I mean, what else would she use? Luke, get back here.
There you go.
You know, like that. But that would be cool because you would be like Luke, and then it's like, oh shit, is you know, like something like that. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it would have to be a name that would connect to the Skywalkers. Yeah. Is what I'm saying. So, because I still don't like the idea that Kylo's name is Ben. That's one of my biggest quarrels with the sequel trilogy.
Why? I mean,
why is he named Ben?
Because that's pulled from the.
No, but that was Luke's son that was named Ben. Luke's son was named Ben, which made sense because
of Ben
Kenobi being a mentor to Luke.
Maybe Luke had more of an influence on it.
Maybe. I don't know.
Leia knew Ben Kenobi.
I think my guess is they didn't want to go the Anakin route like they should have gone. You know, they didn't want to go the Anakin route.
Anakin would have been
and at that point, where else do you go? You know.
Yeah.
So.
I can see it. I can chip it. What about Ben Solo decides to live on his own on Tatooine, keeping the balance of the universe alive?
Imagine if, so like I said, I'd love to see it end on Tatooine. Imagine if the Jedi Temple's on Tatooine. Like that.
They'd have to clean up the place a little bit.
I'm just saying, like, that'd be kind of cool. Like I said, I would love to see it end with the twin suns in the background. You see a Jedi Temple being built, the twin suns, and the little kid runs, and she goes, "Luke, get back here!" Or Luke. Yeah. Luke, you know,
but crawls out of the sand igloo.
But again, you know, just things like that. Like, I would love to see connections like that. Again, I think Kylo. I will say I'm 90% sure he's going to die. There's 10% that I believe that he will not die.
What if they make him into Vader version 2.0?
What do you mean?
Like turn him into
like he gets
robotic.
Cut down. Okay,
yeah.
Possible.
I wouldn't like to see it. Like cut off his legs. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's 90%.
Don't burn him up.
Look, I really like Kylo Ren, and I would love to see him continue for multiple movies. I just, at this point, I don't see how they could. Again, however JJ writes the movie.
Yeah, well, if he decides to tie up the series or trilogy, it could just end with him dying. But if they want to keep like the whole episodic film, not really a trilogy anymore thing that we were talking about,
there's no reason to kill him.
Yeah, no, there's no reason.
I mean, they could do a moment where Rey, like, you know, dismembers him in a way, and he, because he feels so defeated, he does what Luke does, and he secludes himself somewhere, and maybe it is Tatooine, maybe it's somewhere, and he secludes himself until he feels that he's ready to come back, or, you know, and then you just do 10, 11, 12 as the flip, where it's a dark side user going to find Kylo and bring him back. You know, like, not that
I mean, they could do that because necessarily, like, they could do that and then have like a shadow somewhere on, you know, wherever the Jedi Temple is being built. Yeah. If there's a Jedi Temple, be like there's a secret Sith order that no one has ever talked about because they cut themselves off from the Force.
Be interesting.
And then there you go. Then they have a reason to look for Kylo 10 years down the road or something.
Yeah.
When they have enough of an army to take the Jedi. Then we can get like something like the Old Republic.
Hey. I don't know. There's a lot that they could do with this. I
don't know. I saw that on there and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Now that this episode's almost at 2 hours.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I got nothing else. This is a fun episode.
Yeah. No, we turned this into almost a Star Wars talk.
Yeah, it really did turn into. That's kind of a feel of what Star Wars talk is like sometimes, everyone. So definitely tune in when the next episode.
Yeah, we get into when we talk about it. We really get into it.
Yeah, we really do. All right, but make sure you stay tuned for the remote control because coming up this week we will have a CW Arrowverse talk
a DC show.
Where
just kidding.
Jonathan and I will sit down and we're going to talk about what has come the first half of the season, what we liked, what we didn't like, and where we think the seasons are going to go forward from this point on. With that, I got nothing else. Cool, you got anything?
No, I'm Gucci.
All right, everyone, thanks for joining us, and